Hello, everyone. Welcome to Take 5, the one series that I actually get to talk about anime with someone on my YouTube channel. Say hi, Slyroh.
Hi, Slyroh.
No, stop.
No, I'm in the same boat. I also get to talk about anime on my channel, so this is fantastic.
So basically, all Top 5 is, or Take 5 is we take any 5 of a list that we're talking about anything this week or whenever we're doing this. But yeah, we just take whatever 5 of we're talking about. This week is our top 5 favorite anime. And, it's just a casual talk with me and Sly to enjoy anime that we may or may not get to talk about otherwise.
Yeah, we have an idea to do a lot of different anime lists, and I personally feel that it will make the most sense if people watching this video know sort of where our anime tastes lie with our favorites, so you can get a general idea of the sort of stuff that we like and the sort of stuff that we may talk about moving forward. Who knows?
Nothing but hentai, please.
Okay, well, that's where we differ, but...
Alright, here we go. Number 5, Bible Black. There you go.
No!
I'm assuming you know what that is.
I've heard of it.
Ah, gross.
I think I've only heard of it from you. What do you mean?
For me, when have I ever mentioned
It's
Bible
been
Black?
brought up. It's been brought up.
Oh, no.
Or maybe it's not, I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever mentioned it.
Oh, well.
Alright, well, since you're the guest right now, since I invited you to do this list, I want you to do your number 5 first.
Cool. Alright. My number 5 was actually pretty difficult. I have a pretty, set top 4 that's going to be there for a while, and number 5...
Yo, no joke.
Like-
Mine is the same thing.
Yeah, number 5, I was like, man, there's a lot of different series I could take this spot. But I settled on my number 5 being Steins Gate.
Oh, hey, dude. Actually, mine too.
Really?
Yeah,
No
that's
way.
crazy.
That's
no.
amazing. I forgot that you were that high up on it as well.
Are you including Zero in this as well?
I'm not. I think Zero is okay, but the more that I think back on it, the more issues I have with it. I think the original Steins Gate story is really, really good, almost perfect in every way, and it sort of ends off in a way that it, yes, Zero sort of expands on how they got to that point, but the ending is perfectly fine as it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was fine to watch additional stuff of Steins Gate, because I love Steins Gate. Did it actively subtract from the story? I don't think so, but it didn't add a whole lot either.
Yeah, I don't think that I added anything necessary. But yeah, no, Steins Gate is fantastic. Especially the second half. Once the big thing in the middle happens, I found it hard to stop watching.
What is episode 12?
Episode 12, yeah.
Like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
But even before and after that, there was just a lot of good twists. I'm always a sucker for a good time travel plot, but time travel is so easy to mess up, and I feel like Steins Gate did about as good as you can ask for. No time travel plot is ever going to be perfect, but I think Steins Gate is it's pretty consistent with its own rules.
Well, it's also really cool because they incorporate real life potential time travelers in the story. There was the reference to, what was his name, the guy who posted on a message board that he was from 2045 and he came from the past.
Oh yeah, the John Tito or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an actual real life thing that I thought was really freaking cool and had heard about before.
Yeah. I just think it ties itself well all together. I think the characters are good and believable. You understand what they're about and what they're going for. Even though some of them might not, or might be a little bit more than what they bring to the surface. There might be more to them. So that's just part of all the good twists.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that opening, man.
Oh, the opening's so good. It's a banger.
It's one of the best openings. I had it in my top 10 when we did our list.
I think it was in mine too. I'd probably have to redo that entire list because my music taste changed all the time. But yeah, no, Hacking to the Gate is consistently up there. It's one of the best for me. Yeah, I also love the main character. I mean, Okabe is someone that I found pretty easy to root for.
You mean Hyoin Kyoma?
Yeah. I I was kind of actually put off a bit. I was like, all right, he's a little bit too over the top. But as the story kind of goes on and that sort of facade starts to drop a little bit, and you sort of understand where that comes from, I really admired like how they dealt with that and how that was all handled. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, he can come off as a little insufferable for the first like half. That's just kind of how he is, but he definitely becomes a little bit more grounded once the big thing comes. And I don't necessarily know how much people care about spoilers about it, but if you haven't seen Steins Gate, you should definitely watch it because it's like one of the highest rated anime of all time.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, it's very good. All right, so do we want to just jump on to the next one? Any other closing thoughts?
Doo-doo-doo. That's it.
Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, I love Mayuri. So great.
Yeah, right.
She was probably like my favorite character, despite the fact that she doesn't really have that much depth compared
That's
to the
all
others.
she does.
But sometimes you just need that like happy presence. But yeah. Okay.
There's always that one friend who's just unnaturally happy for no reason.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start number 4.
You want to do 4?
Yeah, I'll start number 4.
Do it.
Considering I made you do 5.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a bit of a shocker because I actually didn't think I would have it this high, but considering it's been a super big part of my life from like when I was 11 and older, and I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times over the course of my life, dude, it's got to be Naruto.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of those that's like I'm not surprised by at all.
Like back in the day, back when the big 3 came out, there was Bleach, there was One Piece, there was freaking Naruto. I never really got down with One Piece. I just never vibed with it. But like Bleach, Naruto were my shit back then. And at one point I was like, dude, Bleach is my favorite anime of all time. And then Naruto was like, it got to the Sasuke retrieval arc, and I was like, okay, maybe Naruto's my favorite anime of all time. What the heck am I supposed to do here? And then Bleach kind of fell off, unfortunately. But it's got some of the most memorable characters of all time. It's just amazing, dude. There's so many characters in it that I will never forget. Like, I can recognize them, even probably just seeing their like glove or something.
Yeah, the characters are really well done.
And I think that's actually really all I have to say. You know Naruto. Everyone knows Naruto.
Yeah, Naruto's not something that I grew up with, but yeah, and I can attest that it definitely still holds up. It's not in my top 5, but it is something that I do regard very highly, especially as a series in general. I do find that a little bit of the anime specifically can drag a bit, even without the filler. Even like canon storyline, some of the episodes started to drag for me.
I agree, especially when it comes to any shonen series.
Yeah.
There's stuff that long forms of shonen did in the past that kind of made anime just really hard. Specifically why Bleach fell off so much is it'd be like, there's a 24-minute episode, right? There's the opening, and then there's like a 2 or 3 minute recap of what happened in the last episode.
Yep.
Then it'd be kind of padding through until they get to some actual content. And then by the time you actually get any story, it's like 12 minutes of actual story in the 24 minutes that you've been watching.
Yeah, that definitely happens a lot. That's not unique
That's
to like
just
this like
shonen
one
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, Black Clover had like the same issue for me. I know I've heard that same complaint about One Piece. That's why I think One Piece manga is generally those are the fans that you really hear from about that. So yeah, it definitely happens. But yeah, no, I respect that.
And it's got some of the best fights and characters of all time. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, boy. Let me hear number 4.
All right, number 4. Yeah, since we're obviously not matching, my number 4 is Assassination Classroom.
I knew it.
Of course, dude.
I knew it'd be here.
Of course, dude. I love Assassination Classroom. Something about the ridiculous plot that it sets up, yet still manages to resolve, is interesting. It's one of those series that I never found a bad episode or a boring episode. I was invested, or I can find some enjoyment of any single episode. You throw one on and I'll still enjoy it. So there's no like down or dipping quality for anything more than like half an episode maybe. The only thing I can think of is that stupid gun guy that likes to eat soup with his gun. When he gets brought up, I'm just like, all right, that doesn't need to happen. But everything else is like, all right, everything's good. For the most part.
That's my favorite character, Slyroh.
No.
How dare you?
No. And I love the characters. I mean, Koro Sensei is one of the best characters in all of anime. I personally love Karma. I personally really love Nagisa, which is, I don't think, a very popular take.
He's alright. He's alright.
Yeah, I find there's a lot of little nuances to his character that I find very relatable or easy to root for. He's easily built in as an underdog. And especially at the time that I first watched this, compared to a lot of other like shonen or just like anime protagonists that have to be like loud or are like excluded in some way for being different, Nagisa wasn't really that. It's like he wasn't really excluded. I mean, he had Karma basically like would stick up for him. He was like, he had people on his side. He was just kind of quiet and didn't really know like what to do. And there was this, I don't know, there was like and he wasn't like loud. He was very like quiet, kind of kept to himself, while not being like antisocial either. There was like this weird balance of like Nagisa that I didn't quite see in any other like protagonist, that I was like, he captures like something like really well that I just super relate to. As well as his journey to just figure out like what he wants to do in life, and his sort of not, you know, like he found like he was content just sort of being almost pushed around by other people, including like his mother, including like other people. It's just like he didn't have his own like personality, because he's like, well, as long as I'm not causing an issue, this is fine. But then he kind of grows to be like, oh, there are actually some things that I want to start standing up for myself. I want to do this, and I think that's really good. But also, I mean, besides that, the humor is amazing. I think it's really funny, and I think it balances the humor with the serious moments very good. It has my favorite ending of all time, so there's that. And I find the series to be incredibly rewatchable as well. People complain about like the minor characters that are basically all there and don't do anything, but it's actually kind of fun to look and see if you can sort of make out like what stories are being told behind the scenes with some minor character that maybe you didn't pay attention to the first time, which I think is also pretty cool. So I don't know. I always have a special place in my heart for Assassination Classroom.
Dude.
Yeah.
The teacher.
The teacher.
Is the best.
Yeah, I like.
You know which one starts with a B?
Oh, really? I was thinking about Karasuma. I don't know. Sorry, I watched the dub, so it actually starts with a P because it's Professor Bitch.
Oh, is it?
Instead of Bitch Sensei.
Oh my goodness.
I'll probably get so much flack that I watched the dub not once but twice. I still haven't actually seen the sub, which is so funny. I've seen the sub for everything else. Actually, no, I didn't see the sub for Steins Gate either. Wow, this is
really.
No, I
actually
watched the dub.
I watched both. I watched the dub and sub for that. Just
that's fair.
I didn't finish the dub, but I started off at like episode 12.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dub.
No, both of them, when I first watched them, I was still very much into, if it's available dub, I'm only watching dub. I'm not quite the same anymore, because as is the trajectory of like most anime fans, you start watching series that are only available in sub, and from there you never go back, really.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's just the way of life, man.
Yep.
Or you gotta wait like a year or two until it comes out, and unless it's popular enough, then it gets like simulcast. But
yeah, but even that, sometimes they get delayed, and or you never know, or it's so much easier once you start watching in Japanese. It's just like, all right, well now I can just do this, because if it's out, like it's always going to be like out.
Anytime it's on Netflix, you're boned.
Yeah, that does happen, but it's all right. All right, well I don't have anything more to say, so
I mean, I was expecting Assassination Classroom a little higher, so I'm surprised.
That said, my top 4 is like it's locked in. There is a separation between 4 and 5, but yeah.
All right. Well, you're gonna be doing number 3, Mr. Boy. So let's hear it.
Okay. I almost wish that you would do
10.
number 3 first because I think my 3 might be your 2.
Really?
I do think so.
Really?
Yeah. So we can switch it last minute if you want, or I could just go ahead and start talking about it.
Ooh. I don't know, man. Do you want to say them both at the same time?
I sure. And I think you should say your 3 first.
All right. Well, it used to be my number 1, and then it was overtaken. And then that number 1 was overtaken.
Oh.
So my number 3 is Code Geass.
Oh, just kidding. Mine's Code Geass. What?
Hey, what the
I
heck?
really thought that was gonna be your 2.
Dude.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, then I guess I can talk if you want me to talk more.
Well, we can both talk, man.
Yo, that's amazing. I had the same
I
thing.
think...
So Code Geass was I'll get to it when I get to my number 2, but my Code Geass was number 1 for me for a long time as well. And then it got bumped down to number 2, and then it switched between 2 and 3 for a long time, and only recently it's gone back down to 3. So this is where it's at now, but it does keep moving between like 2 and 3. So similar journey. Code Geass is one of the earlier animes that I ever watched, and it is actually the series that I've seen the most amount of times from start to finish.
It was actually the only series that I started in dub with, and then was like, oh, the dub's better than the sub for me.
I think I agree. So I watched it in dub twice, but then my most recent viewing of it, I watched it in sub. And I think both are good. So
I mean, you got Ichigo's voice actor as Lelouch, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, and Lelouch, I think Lelouch is good in both dub and sub, but I think the dub is really, like, it's iconic for me. And it also helps because, like, Lelouch really does just sort of carry the series because it is really all about him and, like, his journey. Like, yes, there's a lot of other characters and a lot of, like, politics and like, story stuff going on, but, like, you are, like, really follow Lelouch's story, like, from start to finish. But yeah, Code Geass is another series where there's just, like, a lot of twists along the way. It is very interesting to see Lelouch's choices throughout the story, and he has to sort of weigh different morality decisions as to what he wants versus what he thinks is best for his goal of overthrowing, like, Britannia, whatnot, versus, like, he doesn't want to hurt, like, his personal friends, and sort of balancing that and how they come to a head. I think the idea, I know people rag on Suzaku as a character. I think the idea behind Lelouch versus, like, Suzaku is very interesting. I think it could be done better, but I do think it's done well enough where the point gets across well enough that I still like the inherent thing behind that.
Well, see, they're exact opposites, kind of working towards the same Z goal, you know?
Yep.
And then they both kind of become hypocritical towards the end, like,
yeah.
Especially Suzaku. Not as much Lelouch, because I think he kind of always was planning.
Yeah, I feel like he was sort of forced into that spot, kind of by some of his own decision making, but he didn't know that at the time. Where like, if everything had went his way, I think it was episode 19, the thing that everybody hates happened. If it was up to Lelouch, the series would have been over right then and there. He would have gotten his goal. That didn't happen because he wanted to, but he had something terrible happen to him that he didn't mean to have happen, and he had to, like, own up and be like, well, what decision do I make from here, because this is not going to solve the problem. In fact, I just made it worse.
Exactly.
So and then also just, like, the very end of R1, like season 1, like, that decision that he makes of like, with Suzaku is just, like, Suzaku's enemy, but, like, he doesn't want him to die, so it's just, like, he has to weigh that, and it's I feel like that's probably a decision that doesn't help speed things along either. So yeah, it's very interesting. I love Code Geass.
Yeah, he definitely could have just, like, if he was more ruthless in the beginning, he probably could have just ended it without bothering all. You know, Suzaku could have died, and I think that would have probably made his goal a lot more attainable. And But it's got super memorable moments. It's got characters that you love, and it's definitely got characters that people really hate. Nina.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of people hate Rolo, but I thought he was all right. He's not the best. He was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Didn't really make sense a lot of the times.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the story takes like a little bit of creative liberty with
Suspension of belief.
Yeah. But it's fine. And then obviously like the ending is really good. It is up there for one of my favorite
endings of all time, dude.
For sure.
And I haven't seen the last movie.
I haven't seen anything outside of the main.
That's like alternate storyline or whatever. All I know is in the movie, Shirley's alive at some point.
I think they redo a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but like I don't even know if it's supposed to be canon or not. But
no, it's like an alternate timeline or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
so it's like it's whatever.
It's crazy, man. Can't believe you had the exact same reason why it got bumped down too.
I was convinced that it was year 2. I'm interested in what year 2 is because I know what year 1 is unless you changed it.
What do you think my 1 is?
Well, hold on, we'll get there. We'll get there because right. I mean, unless you're gonna say year 2 next, I don't know who's doing what order.
No, you're doing your 2 next since I had to start 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. We can move on to 2. And number 2 has recently gone back up to number 2. Mostly because it's still currently airing, because my number 2 is Attack on Titan. So.
I had considered it on my list.
Yeah.
But, I mostly read it. I haven't been watching the anime.
Yeah, I keep up with the anime. I think Attack on Titan is a better anime than it is a manga.
You think
I don't know how popular of a statement that is, but I do feel with how much, especially now, how many like moving parts there are and how many different characters you're seeing the perspectives of, I find it a lot easier to follow in anime form than manga form. The manga probably has more like information and whatnot, but I personally just find it easier to follow along with the anime. It does help that I have read the manga. I've read the ending. I'm sure when this goes up, I don't think the anime will be like over yet. So like won't discuss that, but having read that and now I'm like watching it, it's almost like I can just like fill in any gaps in my memory of like what happened. And yeah, it's just like every single episode is just like fantastic. The story ties itself together so well. I mean, it's not that big of a spoiler at this point for basically the series starts off, it's literally just generic like loud shonen kid is like wants to yell and kill all the titans that are attacking like his home, and then you find out it's like, oh, the titans are actually people, and some of his friends are titans
all along.
Yeah, and then like some of his friends and comrades that he's been training with for years are titans, and so like his entire worldview is like shifting in terms of like he literally spent years being like, I am going to kill the titans that took my mother from me. The titans have like made this life horrible. I want this. I want freedom. And now it became a lot more complicated because people he knows and are friends with turn out to be titans. Finds out that like all the titans are like people, and there's just so many twists. And then in terms of like the more like recent seasons, I personally really enjoy getting to see the other side of where the titans are like coming from, why the overall conflict is happening. The anime, not to touch on any current events because I'm not super educated, but the general sort of anti-war like sentiment and how like both sides always kind of see themselves as being in the right, and conflict in general is usually a lot more complicated than is usually what you know, and I think Attack on Titan explores that topic very well. I think a character a character like Gabby is a really like fantastic exploration of basically this like one note kill like character until she also gets growth of like, oh, maybe things aren't exactly what I thought, and so you kind of get to see both sides as to like where we were, where we are now. And yeah, it's just one of those, every single episode I just watch and I'm just like, between like the music, animation, the story, the characters, every character is interesting. I don't know that any of the characters are like perfect, but you can sort of understand why every character is doing what they do. It's fantastic, and yeah, I mean, everybody praises it to death for a reason. It's just so good.
good soundtrack, generally good animation.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier seasons had crazy good animation.
Yeah, and I don't really have a problem with most of like the recent animation. I'm not one that's like super into, like, it has to be really bad CGI for me to be like, oh, that's bad CGI. I'm not super.
We're talking berserk bad.
Yeah,
CGI.
like if I notice it, then like you done really bad, because I'm usually my animation standards are to probably lower standards than some of a lot of people's. Where if the story and content is like there, it can carry like mediocre animation. But I think Attack on Titan is above mediocre for sure in the animation department.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it's still good, and I'm sure I can't wait for the ending to actually happen in the anime, because I feel like the internet's just going to explode. And I can't wait to just really have that closure and like really finalize my thoughts on it, because I'm somebody that was a little bit more negative, but I think I don't know, I might be coming around, and we'll see how it gets explored in the anime. So we'll see.
You think the anime is gonna change anything about the ending?
I don't think so. I think they're gonna just do it as is.
All right, I can respect that.
Yeah.
I was one of those who didn't care a whole lot for the ending. Anyways.
Yeah. Though I do think it might even be confirmed at this point. As of right now, as of the time of recording this, I think there's like 2 episodes to go, and they are not getting to the end of the manga. So I kind of am of the opinion that they're probably going to just make the ending like a movie or something.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So,
I think that was the big plan for it anyways.
Yeah, that was a rumor, but I'm like more on board of like, I think that's actually what's happening. I don't know that it needs to be, but that does seem to be the trend, so it's fine.
You know how they'll do it. They'll take they'll take the Ufotable route, where they make the movie and then split it up and make it anime episodes.
Yeah. But they gotta make sure that the anime episodes don't come out until 2023. That way they can get like all the best animation awards for this year and next year.
No, I was robbed. I was robbed.
All right.
Man.
All right, you want to go ahead and I know what your
All
number
right,
2
I'm
is.
ready. Well, I want you to say what you think it is first, and then I'll...
No, because I think I know what your number 1 is, and I don't want to like spoil it for the people.
What is my number 1? All right. Well, my number 2 is ReZero.
What did you do with your number 1? ReZero is your number 1. You sent me a message that said ReZero is my favorite anime of all time. What did you do?
I told you it got bumped down.
Okay, all right. Oh no.
ReZero is the I'm gonna sell you this number 1 when it
No,
comes out.
no,
You're gonna
no.
have to watch it.
I'm so scared. Oh no. Go ahead, talk about ReZero. ReZero is fantastic. Go ahead.
It's so freaking good. Yeah, people can complain about Subaru being a bad character in the beginning. You know, he sucks. He's an everyday guy who can't do anything, and in this fantastic world where no one around him is subpar at all. He's the only one who can't do anything on his own. Everyone else, Amelia, Ram, Oswald, all these people are literal like one-person armies that can take on like 45 different people all at once. And people complain about him not being able to deal with dying multiple times and having mental breaks and blah blah blah. I don't want to hear that. If you died and felt all that pain 16 different times, 16 different ways from 3 different people, I'm sure you'd probably freak out too.
Yeah.
It's just got this fantastic way of making me care about characters through telling of the repeats of storyline, making me love Amelia with all these certain traits that she has, and why Subaru actually enjoys her in season 2 is amazing. Amelia is cute, and then we got unfortunately my girl destroyed in season 1, never to be seen again.
And who's that?
You know who it is, slyroh. You know who it is.
Say
Say it.
No,
Say
I
her
wanted
name.
you to say her name.
My blue-haired ogre waifu. I love her.
I literally just wanted to say who is Rem, but okay. You robbed me of that chance.
Then why didn't you say it?
Because I was waiting for you to say the words Rem so I could be like, who is Rem?
No, don't break my heart again.
Dude, Rem is my favorite. Really quickly, just to touch on Amelia, I did not like Amelia season 1. I was like,
oh no, she kind of sucked in
I was like, she sucks. I was like, Subaru also kind of sucked, but he was kind of more on purpose. Like, he was a bit, he started off like he's supposed to grow and start off kind of like that. Where like Amelia, I was just like, there's no redemption. And then like by the end of like season 2, especially like season 2 part 2, I was just like, wait, they're like exploring her character. I was like, why don't I hate her anymore? She's like getting good. Hello? Like what?
Dude,
it's crazy.
ReZero has a way of, even just by repeating the stories of his loops, it makes you see different perspectives of the character. That even in season 1, where like you saw in the first loop where he's trying to help Amelia not die in the stupid loot house or whatever. Spoilers, I know. ReZero's like what, 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
You see all these multiple different angles that she's just a nice person. She goes out of her way to help people, even though people are extremely racist and biased towards her just because of her appearance. And ReZero also has a really cool fleshed out magic system and like all these different cool aspects of the anime and the world, a world that Subaru has no place in, by the way. He does not stand a chance on his own. I can't stress this enough. It's just has a way of taking my heart, Slyroh. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
The animation is done well. The moments when it wants to hit you in the feelings, it knows how to hit you in the feelings. Yeah. It knows how to make you care about Subaru. In season 2, when it showed his like past and everything, you just kind of care about it. Like you just kind of relate to him.
100%. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, for me, ReZero's not on my list, but it was one of those that was like, it's definitely in contention for like that number 5 spot. There's definitely a day where I could call ReZero my number 5. And maybe if it keeps going and like has more, then it could get there still. But yeah, just like the sort of time loop stuff and just like sort of trying to see how Subaru's gonna like go forward, how he's gonna grow, how he's gonna help the characters around him grow, and just like the overall story itself, it's so interesting, and it doesn't really like hold back. Like it's pretty brutal.
Exactly. I don't know if this is spoilers at all. Currently, I think season 2 ended at either arc 4 or arc 5 of the light novel, and it's in arc 7 right now, either arc 7 or arc 8, I can't remember. And let's just say that his ability puts him in a situation where he has no time to do anything.
Nice. Yeah, I think I don't know too much, but I've heard that it only gets crazier from where it ended off. So hopefully there's more in the future, because I would love to watch it, because that's another one. Like I love the animation for a lot of the things that are done. I think ReZero is really well animated, and it's clear that they put a lot of effort when they do it. So I'd love to see that animated.
Dude, all I'm gonna say is that in that loop, he only has 10 seconds.
Ooh. Nice, interesting.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. Right. Also, it made me like Beatrice somehow.
Whoa, that's something, because I still don't like Beatrice.
Well, she gets a lot more. I've read too much. Yeah. But just separating from the anime, like I really started to lean towards her towards the end of season 2. It's crazy, man.
Interesting.
Crazy. All right. Let's hear yours, Mr. Probably. I bet I can guess it.
Number 1?
Yeah?
I believe I've told you it before.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I think it's Hunter x Hunter.
It is Hunter x Hunter. Yes.
Hey.
Which is crazy. That is the one. Like I said, between Code Geass and Attack on Titan, they were my number 1. And then it was a little over a year ago I watched Hunter x Hunter for the first time, and yeah, by the time I got probably like halfway through the Chimera Ant arc, I was just like, this is it. I was like, I have not seen anything better. It's like almost 150 episodes of basically perfection. There was never a dull moment. Again, more than like, there might be some moments that were like 5 minutes of like, this isn't the best, but like there was no low points that lasted more than like half an episode. The pacing of the anime is fantastic. It doesn't drag on any of its fights. Every character feels important. I feel like Hunter x Hunter is kind of a world that you could take the perspective of any character that's living inside of it, and there would be an interesting story to tell. You happen to just be told Gon's story and Kurapika's story. They both sort of, Gon is the main protagonist, but there's definitely some times where Kurapika kind of takes over that role as well. And I like that. I like that every character feels like they can be important. I know they did this really early in the anime as well, where like as soon as you go to like the Hunter exam, so this is like episode 4, and they introduce like 20 characters. They're like, there's this character, making you think that all of them are going to be important, and then like half of them like don't even make it past the first round. It kind of sets up this thing of like, oh, only some of the things that we mentioned are going to be something you need to remember, which I think helps create a sense of like unpredictability, as you don't always know what's going to happen. Which I really like. I really value just sort of unpredictability and being able to watch without just being able to predict everything pretty highly. I love the characters. Killua, Kurapika, Meruem, like they're some of my favorite characters of all times. Yeah, I just all that, and also the soundtrack. Dude, the soundtrack of Hunter x Hunter is my favorite of all time as well. Like, it's so good.
It's got some good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Have you read any of the stuff afterwards?
I read a little bit. I read the fight that happens afterwards. That's what I care about. And then I know bits and pieces. It's one of those that like I'll sometimes watch some like Hunter x Hunter's like content stuff on YouTube, and so like people like talk about stuff. I haven't like read through to like see the context of all of it, but also I don't think I'm gonna fall behind anytime soon, because you know they're not really updating any new chapters, so it's like
one every 3 years.
Yeah, I was like, it's been like 2-3 years, so it's like I'm not really in a hurry that I need to catch up, because like it's not like I'm gonna fall behind. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter just hits on like every single aspect for me. I love it so much.
All right, best waifu right now.
Best waifu?
Hunter x Hunter. Yep.
Of Hunter x
Hunter x Hunter. Yeah.
Waifu.
The lady who gets really buff. That's
Biscuit?
The best waifu. Yeah, Biscuit.
No, the best waifu is Stick Dinner.
What? Stick Dinner?
Is that his name? I don't remember.
I don't remember this.
There was like one of like Jing's like friends that like, it's like before the Chimera Ant arc or whatever. It's like Gon and Killua, like they teleport out of like Green Island, meet Kite, and then like Kite introduces Gon to like some friends, and I feel like one of the friends' name is like Stick Dinner, and that's the only thing he's memorable for, because I don't remember anything about him
right now. He's got an afro.
Yeah. No, best waifu is Melody.
Japanese name Sticku Dinner.
There you go. No, best waifu is Melody, for sure.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you remember her?
No, not at all.
All right, well, she is great, but she's not, you know. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it, Slyroh. I'm not Googling her.
I feel like you should, but okay.
Oh, all right. I'll Google her. Hold on.
Oh man.
There's no way she's better than Biscuit.
No, she's a better character. I will fight for that. She's a better character. She might not be a physical specimen to your taste.
I remember her now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude,
I hate you.
The character designs in Hunter x Hunter are something else.
All right. What do you think was my number one? What do you think it is?
Are you gonna talk about Mushoku Tensei?
I sure am.
End it now. End the video now. Click all the way now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. All right.
All right, hold on. This is like 1.5 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Of...
All of your notes are just this is why Slyroh needs to know that Mushoku Tensei is the best ever. I'm convinced that in a few months it's not going to be your favorite anymore. You're like, oh yeah, it was just my favorite for the video.
No, it will be.
You're going to be a fake fan.
No. Not only is it the most visually and audio appealing anime I have heard in a long time, the character depth and development in just this first 2 parts of season 1 is amazing. And I have never picked up a light novel so fast in my life, Sly.
Yeah?
It is crazy. I think there's 24 volumes of the light novel.
Wow.
Not all of them are in English yet, so unfortunately they're still releasing and I have to wait to read them. But the anime ends at volume 7, or at volume ends at 6, and whatever 7 is where I started.
Okay. That's not bad.
But they put so much care and craft into this world building of what they should in isekai, and actually make it a world that's interesting, that has all these crazy geopolitical problems, has random natural disasters. It has like some stuff that's not really appealing to most people. Yes, the main character is a bit of a perv, and I will address this now. That is one of his character flaws. He is very badly skewed on his opinions of women and how women should be treated, because he is an otaku. He's a shut-in neat who did nothing but look at really probably inappropriate porn his entire life and stay in his room his entire time because he was bullied so severely. But that's the beauty of Mushoku Tensei, because it's not just, oh, you're gonna go to this new world and all these problems are gone away from you. The story of Rudius becoming a better person is a slow burn throughout all this. Even after the end of season 1, he's still got his issues. He's still got his confidence issues. He's still, for the first, I want to say 3-4 episodes before his teacher comes in to help him learn magic, this is maybe 4 or 5 years of his life, Slyroh. He doesn't take a step outside.
Oh wow.
Because he's a neat. The first 6 episodes, or maybe even more than that, is just him being a baby, going up until he's like 6 years old and starting to learn magic from a teacher, because he ended up showing some aptitude for learning magic. And he's not your typical overpowered magical protagonist from any isekai. He actively trained his body to learn a form of casting magic that is literally so rare in the world that maybe 2 or 3 other people have ever done it. And voiceless casting. In this world, the magic system is so deep, Slyroh. It goes from obviously beginner classes all the way up to god tier class of magic, where Rudius learns the beginner tier by just using the incantations. I cannot do it justice, Slyroh. Not only do they have a magic class, there are 3 separate magic categories that are each divided into subclasses. There's the attack type magic that focuses on the elements of different kinds of magic, how they can be combined and used in combat. There's multiple ways that they can be casted with chants or writing symbols on the ground. And then there's voiceless casting, which not like I said, not a lot of people can do. They also have the other category, which is healing magic, which goes for stuff like just healing basic wounds, defensive spells, all this crazy stuff. And so they don't even get into summoning magic in the first season. They mention it. But not only do they have a god tier magic system, they also have a system for swordplay, based on 3 different styles of sword play: the water god, the sword god, and the north god.
Oh, wow.
Not only the level of detail in their magic and fighting class, they also created 2 separate languages other than Japanese for the beast god tongue and the demon god tongue, which fans of Mushoku Tensei literally took from the anime and translated it into the alphabet, so you can translate it to English and read the books in Mushoku Tensei.
That's crazy.
It has an insane depth that I don't even care if you say, oh, it's just an isekai. Dude, this is the way all isekai need to be done, with a very well-built and interesting world, with characters who develop and become good and not just stagnate from the beginning. Oh, I'm gonna go kill the Demon King, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, man. Yes, there's some touchy subjects that are not the best. And there's the younger kids dealing with urges and stuff. Not gonna go too much into it. If you're put off by that stuff happens. It's just part of it. Can't really say much else.
Yeah. I just heard it like talk so highly about everybody. It's just like I don't know. I don't get it. I haven't seen it, but that's I can't really say much. I do believe that it's that there's like a lot of like heart like put into it, which I do respect on that alone.
If I'm not mistaken, the whole team that came together recently just formed this studio because they wanted to work on Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, well, the light novel or whatever, it's one of the original isekais, isn't it? Like,
it's not the original.
No, but it's like one of the ones that a lot of popular ones have sort of used as inspiration.
Taken from. Yeah, like taking tropes from, taking stories, stuff from.
Yeah. So it's not even that like Mushoku Tensei like took from all that and just made a better version of that. It's just like that was there and was already being lovingly like dealt, like written, I guess. And then a lot of other stories took elements to incorporate it into theirs, and then the anime team was just like, hey, this was so good, we wanna animate that type deal.
Yeah. So the big thing with Mushoku Tensei is no one wanted to adapt it because it's so detailed and so immense that it would be hard to pack all that into anime form without doing it an injustice. And the fact that they did that, and it's as perfect as it is crazy. If you are watching and you see an episode titled Turning Point, that's when you know crazy, the whole story is going to be flipped on its head.
Nice. Well, I mean,
I love it.
We'll see if I ever get around to it. I am surprised that it is #1 overall. That is crazy. But
it has swiftly taken over my life.
I'll say.
I have bought every single light novel, and dude, they've got side light novel stories. They even have a story that continues after Mushoku Tensei, and one that takes place about the great human demon war that happened a millennia ago, before Mushoku Tensei even, like, the main character even existed. Because this world, originally, man, this world was it's like a cube. It had 6 different sides. Each side had its own species and people, and they never interacted. And then the dragon people or whatever started doing crap, and it really is just, it's basically lore. Everything is lore.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about Mushoku Tensei builds off of itself.
Nice.
Alright, now that I'm done,
go
watch Mushoku Tensei.
If you haven't been convinced already by like the dozens of other anime like content creators that say it's amazing, now you have one more that is convinced that is trying to convince me and to convince anybody else that has not watched this.
Do you have any honorable mentions that you wanted to?
Yeah, I could talk about some of the ones. Like I said, ReZero was close to #5. Fruits Basket was also very close to number 5 for me. I think there were a couple of pacing issues in parts of the second season, and the third season started to go really fast. That sort of holds it back, but I think Fruits Basket, in terms of characters alone for me, is one that I love, and the fact of how many good characters there are really helps it along. That at the end of each season of Fruits Basket, I had a different favorite character. My favorite character changed with each season of Fruits Basket.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, like that does not happen, but like, yeah, I love the characters. That's probably the closest one. I guess like Death Note would come kind of close, but it wasn't in serious contention. That sort of just has everything I like about Code Geass, but it was like, I watched Death Note like first, and then I watched Code Geass, and I was like, oh, this is like, has a lot of the same elements that I like about that, but I just like it more. So, I wasn't really gonna bring that up. I don't think I'm missing anything else that would have like really pushed for number 5.
I don't think it'd be number 5, but I do want to mention it. Ranking of Kings is fantastic.
That's fair.
I don't know if I didn't want to include it. It's not done yet. I don't know how. It's got like, I don't know, 3 more episodes or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to just mention it. If you look at the art style and you're put off by it, just you only need 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% certain you will be hooked.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm generally not even the biggest fan of just like fantasy anime or just like a fantasy setting, but something about Ranking of Kings just does it so well. I don't think it's ever going to push for top 5 for me. I think I'm sort of probably in that crowd. Like, there are people that will talk about Ranking of Kings as being like the best ever. I'm probably just like a tier below that, where it's like, I think it's really good. I don't think it hits that special connection that will put it in like a top 5 or maybe even a top 10 for me. But I absolutely respect anybody that does.
Personally, if I were to put it anywhere, it'd be in top 20 at most.
Yeah, I could see that.
But we'll have to see how it plays out before I decide anything.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, considering we're almost at an hour.
Yeah, we talked for a good bit.
Yeah. I think it's time we wrapped up, Sly. So, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
No, this has been great. I can't wait to talk about more anime things and maybe other things as well moving forward. Anybody has like suggestions? I mean, we have plenty of ideas that we want to do, but if there's suggestions that people want to see, we welcome those as well. So.
Yep. Next list is top 5 favorite hentai. So see you guys next time.